Yes.
But to cause some concern. But
it did cause a great deal of concern to me and to the Buffalo kicker, who basically had his leg ripped off. Yeah, crazy hit on the punter.
dangerous game.
Dangerous game it is. Anyways.
You got to love the sling fest, though, back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We're going to move on. Speaking of sling fest, Alabama.
Slamma.
Yeah.
Literally slamma.
62-10 over New Mexico State.
Ouchies.
Tua Tagovailoa. Crazy, not crazy stats. He only threw for 227 yards, 3 touchdowns. Again, he doesn't play entire games because of this.
Right.
This exact reason, because they go up 62-10. And once you get it about 35-10
Bring the second
half,
strings.
yeah, you don't need Tua at quarterback.
No. Just getting tired of hearing about him.
Yeah. But after the game, a reporter asked him, Nick Saban, asked Nick Saban about them playing a weak schedule. Mm-hmm. And Nick Saban said that they reach out to better programs, but they just won't schedule to play each other. Or they won't schedule Alabama. I mean, do you think the teams are really that afraid of playing Alabama?
Honestly, I don't see why they would be. You got all these small schools and weaker opponents going up against them now. It's like, why?
Well, because they don't have to worry about a loss knocking them out of the playoff.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, at some point, how do you move forward? If you're not going to step up and take them on.
Here's how you move forward. Here's how you get teams to not be afraid to play teams like Alabama and Clemson, so that you're not just playing cream puffs. So the playoff, whether you expand it or not, we have this big problem.
I don't know if
it's going to happen.
Soon?
I mean, they have a deal in place for 10 years, so we're probably not going to get it for another 5 when the current playoff deal ends.
Yeah, yep.
But the way that I see that you can fix this problem of teams like Alabama and Clemson and even Penn State and USC playing these bad teams is you got to expand the playoff for this to work.
Right.
All of the conference winners have a guaranteed spot in the playoff. So that way, if Oregon goes and plays Alabama and they lose to Alabama, or they lose to Auburn, or they lose to Penn State or Ohio State, that's not going to affect their conference record. And what's going to get you into the playoff is conference record.
Right. Yep.
It's what happens after you get to the playoff that is going to be the problem. But if every conference gets a guaranteed playoff team, teams will be more willing to play teams like Alabama because you're not afraid that one loss is going to kick you out of the playoff.
Makes sense. Yep.
So I think that is what I think should happen.
Absolutely. I mean,
expand the playoff. Each conference gets a guaranteed team in the playoff. And I think that's 10 conferences. So we'll also give you 2 at large, 1 reserved for an independent, and then I don't know how you decide the other.
Right. Well, I mean, it's going to be like anything else. They're going to be hammering out back and forth and seeing what works and what to pitch out. But, I mean, overall, it'd definitely be the smartest move they could ever do. I mean, you get more advertising, commercial-wise.
Because then there'd be no benefit for Alabama to play a team like Mercer.
Right, yeah.
Who they played a couple years ago.
And then think about, like, all the, you get the playoff bracket challenge thing starting up. I mean, I know, of course, for NCAA basketball, it's a whole other animal, but...
That's a cult.
Yeah, more or less. But, people be saying, here's how I'm going to draw this out, who's going to beat who, here's how it's going to end up. I mean, with 4 teams, people really do that? Not really.
And no one cares about the playoff, really. With 4 teams in it, if your conference isn't recognized, no one cares.
That's just it. I mean, and to think, like, once you do the last, conference game of the year, they stay up to, like, was it 3, 4 in the morning to get the final bracket made up?
Yeah.
Yeah, they go back and look at all the win-loss record, this, strength of victory here. It's like...
It should just be simple.
Yeah.
If you win your conference, you're in to the playoff.
Yeah.
So that means if Buffalo wins the MAC, they get a playoff spot. If UCF wins the AAC, they get a playoff spot. If Florida State wins the ACC, they get a playoff spot.
No gray areas. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, human element is shit. I think that is one of the things that I really dislike about all of this. We make these arbitrary rules about...
It's all opinion. It's like...
It is. And, like, here comes a Penn State fan rant. Okay, so the what's it called? The selection committee says, oh, well, in order to be in the playoff, really you have to win your conference.
Mm-hmm.
Except Penn State wins the Big Ten, and they put Ohio State in the playoff. Well, really what we're looking for is number of wins. That's funny because Central Florida didn't fucking lose a game.
Right.
And they don't get in.
Where was their love that whole time?
So where's the consistency?
There is none.
Western Michigan didn't lose a game. Granted, they got beat by Wisconsin in their bowl game.
Yep.
But still, they went the entire regular season undefeated. They deserve a spot in the playoff.
Yep. So you got to look at it. And
if you're telling me that conference championships matter, you're lying because you put a person or a team who wasn't even in the conference championship game into the playoff. It doesn't make sense.
If then the same thing happened, weren't they heavily scrutinizing Georgia? Was it only a couple of years ago?
Yeah, because Ohio State won the Big Ten and they didn't get into the playoff either.
No, it's got to be more cut and dry than just that, opinion of, and then, how are we going to change it and shake it up this way?
I thought we left this bullshit behind when we stopped the BCS.
Apparently not.
Yeah, it's the bullshit championship series.
Well, I mean, at least none of that, we don't have that anymore, period.
Yeah, I mean, part of me kind of wants to go back because then at least I know a team's going to get screwed.
Yeah, all politics.
All right, anyways, we're going to move on. Sticking in the SEC, we're going to go to number 3, Georgia. Put an absolute hurt on the Racers of Murray State, 63-17.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, Jake from State Farm, right? Jake from State Farm? Yeah.
Sounds it.
10 of 11, 168 yards, 1 touchdown. Did not look very Heisman worthy, but again, only threw the ball 11 times. And on 10 of them, he connected with his wide receiver.
Accurate.
Yeah, accuracy off the charts. But it just... He didn't have as good of a day as you would think he would have, or as big of a day. I don't want to say good. He didn't have as big of a day as you would have thought when you see the 63-17 box score.
Right. Well, you got to figure too. Well, all right, Murray State, maybe if anything, save the kid's arm.
Perhaps.
Don't totally overdo it on the cream puff school, but.
Another team that just absolutely beat the shit out of someone that shouldn't have even been in the game.
Northern Colorado?
Yeah, Washington State, 59, Northern Colorado, 17. The replacement for the mustache, obviously the mustache being Gardner Minshew,
yep,
who had himself a game trying to help the Jaguars come back and beat the Chiefs, fell just short. We'll get to that. Quarterback for Washington State, Anthony Gordon, had himself a pretty big game. 31 of 39, 464 yards,
Damn.
4 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Perfect day at the office there, just about.
Yeah, extremely efficient, extremely effective, and the rushing game, I mean, their starting running back, McIntosh, or their leading running back, McIntosh, 4 carries, 52 yards. The team combined 15 carries, 113 yards, averaging 7.5 yards per carry, which is good.
Very good.
But the passing game was where it was at.
Yep. Well, I think, even traditionally you see a lot of that with Washington State, even when it was Luke Falk, remember?
Yeah, it was Luke Falk and then Gardner Minshew. It's what they do.
Yep.
And the 4 fumble recoveries helped.
Yeah. It's nice insurance.
Yeah, so Washington State takes care of business against Northern Colorado 59-17. Sticking with the theme of beating the shit out of teams that really have no business.
Depressing, right?
Yeah.
My God.
Number 4, Oklahoma beat some high school 70-14.
That's exactly what their logo look.
Yeah,
the logo
South
looks
Dakota.
like here.
It does look like a high school logo. You're right. South Dakota falls to 0-2 after getting absolutely
I'm starting
smacked.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that I've been a little bit wrong here about Jalen Hurts. But, as we bulk up to better opponents, we'll see if it lasts.
Yeah, he's also played against Houston, who has a bad defense, in an FCS school.
Yeah.
So let's wait until he gets into play. Wait till he runs into Iowa State. Wait until he runs into TCU, the teams that have defenses.
Will they have to go to Kinnick for that?
No, that's Iowa.
Right, yep.
But I think we can just move on.
3 touchdowns, 14 for 18.
Jalen Hurts just fucked him up.
Yeah. Beat down.
Another just absolute shit kicking. UCF, Central Florida, relying on the freshman Dylan Gabriel at quarterback, and he gets the job done. 7 of 19, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, as they beat FAU 48-14. McCray carried the ball 14 times, 93 yards and a touchdown. Not gaudy numbers for a big win, but still solid game. Again,
get it done.
Only throwing 19 times, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns. Efficient.
Yep.
The freshman quarterback was efficient. All right. Moving on to some games that were a little bit closer for a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
We got 2 that are going to be close. Then we're getting back to the shit kicking. Number 6 LSU defeats number 9 Texas in Austin, 45-38. Burrows, quarterback for
no defense.
Yeah,
of course.
Crazy. 31 of 39, 471 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. What?
Very nice.
I don't even know what to say. He had himself a hell of a game. Sam Ehlinger had himself a hell of a game as well. Let's not downplay what he did because he was outplayed by the other person.
Right.
31 of 47. I mean, that number, it's not horrible. I don't love it. It's not horrible. 401 yards, 4 touchdowns.
No picks.
That I like.
Yeah, no picks.
He played a hell of a game as well against an LSU defense that is, I mean, it's lost quite a bit.
Right. Yeah.
With, losing Greedy Williams, but it's still an SEC defense is a tough defense every season.
To put up that score on them, absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely noteworthy. Next game, we're going to stick in the SEC. We got Auburn.
Yep.
24, Tulane 6. Bo Nix, 19 of 37, 207 yards, 1 touchdown. Not such a good game for Auburn.
No, not at all. I mean, combined, the whole rushing game was 172 yards.
Yeah.
I
mean, they looked pretty damn good against Oregon to fall flat like this against,
And Auburn is raises definitely a lot of skepticism, I think.